Newly released surveillance video shows the U.S. drone strike in Afghanistan last year that mistakenly killed 10 civilians. The previously classified military footage was released in response to a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit filed by the New York Times. 7 children were among those killed. The strike happened as the U.S. was completing its final military withdrawal from Afghanistan. Drone operators say they mistook an aid worker for an ISIS-K-affiliated terrorist. 3 days before, a Kabul airport suicide bombing tied to ISIS-K killed at least 182 people. For more, let's bring in Patrick Hamilton. He's the head of delegation to the U.S. and Canada for the International Committee of the Red Cross. Patrick, welcome. Thanks very much for being with us. Let's first talk about the economy in Afghanistan. The United Nations says that Taliban rule has forced over 500,000 people out of a job. Yet at a recent economic conference, the Taliban claims they've actually increased revenue. How and what do we know about the Afghan assets they're calling for to be released?
Hi, Elaine, and great to be with you. Yeah, indeed, we at the ICRC, the International Committee of the Red Cross, are frankly profoundly concerned that the population of Afghanistan is really facing a looming catastrophe due to the economic paralysis that the country is currently facing, and are urgently calling on the broader international community to take urgent steps to try to ensure that the economy can start functioning again, and to ensure that cash liquidity can start moving again across Afghanistan to prevent that catastrophe from happening.
The UN says nearly 90% of the Afghan population is living below the poverty level, and that 8.7 million Afghans are on the brink of starvation. What's driving this crisis, and what's being done to address it?
Well, at the top of the problem is obviously a political paralysis that began back in August with that seismic change in circumstances in Afghanistan and the change in governance, and that's led to a situation of severe economic paralysis with basically no cash liquidity in the economy at all. Tens of thousands of people have lost jobs. They've lost their earning capacity. Many are losing homes. People are having to resort to begging, to burning some of their belongings to be able to get them through what's turning into a very harsh winter. And of course, this is on the back of repeated droughts over the last few years, as well as nearly 40 years of severe conflict in Afghanistan. So there are a series of different cumulative issues that the Afghan population are facing, but the critical issue at this moment in time is the total lack of economic liquidity in the Afghan economy today.
And Patrick, what do we know about basic health care in Afghanistan at this moment?
Well, clearly there is a huge problem related to the broader issue of delivery of essential services in Afghanistan. Basically, these key public sector essential services related to education, related to health, water, energy, the basic functioning of the Afghan state has come to a halt. And so we, the International Committee of the Red Cross, have stepped in to try to provide support to nearly now 30 hospitals, secondary hospitals out across Afghanistan in all of the different provinces, and are looking to try to step in and provide salaries as well as running costs and medical supplies. But that is because the state is currently not in a position to function because there's no money in the economy.
And what is that like for your teams, Patrick, when you're trying to go into these communities and meet the basic needs of people in Afghanistan under Taliban rule?
We've been, as the International Committee of the Red Cross, in Afghanistan non-stop for over 35 years now, and through numerous different rounds of violence and conflict. But we've never been as concerned about the population of Afghanistan as we are today because of the severity of this economic paralysis situation. And so, for example, in these hospitals that we're supporting, like, for example, the Mirwais Hospital down in Kandahar, we're seeing nurses sticking 3 babies into incubators because they don't have the means with which to be able to heat the wards properly, and because there are so many malnourished or severely malnourished children coming into their wards. And we know that these, in a way, are the lucky ones because they're the ones that are able to make it to the hospital. One of our colleagues was visiting another hospital in Kabul earlier this week, and likewise, they have not been able to do any maintenance or repairs to their plumbing system. They have no heating. They have no clean drinking water because they have no money. And so, of course, they are appreciative of the fact that we are now trying to step in. But these are really stopgap emergency measures. And what we're talking about is a situation in which we, as the ICRC, the humanitarian sector, are just not going to be able to substitute for what is essentially a state that's being unable to function today. So there really is a major need for the international community to look at ways to step in today to enable some of these basic essential services to function whilst the deliberations go on as to the longer-term political and governance solutions for Afghanistan.
It's heartbreaking to hear what your teams are encountering there in Afghanistan. So you mentioned the international community. How are nations navigating trying to meet the needs of people in Afghanistan without engaging with the Taliban?
Well, I mean, obviously there has been a commitment to the provision of humanitarian aid, and we've seen important steps taken just before the turn of the year with important carve-outs being created to the sanctions regimes, both by the US government as well as at the UN, to allow for humanitarian actors to be able to deliver their assistance in Afghanistan and to engage to some extent with the Taliban authorities governing Afghanistan. But clearly going forward, over the longer term, there is a need for the international community to look to ways of re-engaging with Afghanistan, and in the meantime to look for interim mechanisms and steps that will allow for some degree of economic functioning to take place and for these essential state services to continue to function by ensuring that, doctors, nurses, through to the maintenance workers that work on some of the electricity supply units in Afghanistan, through to teachers, can be paid so that they can get on with educating people, providing them with water, providing them with electricity in these really difficult circumstances. So we can't have a total black and white situation in Afghanistan. There is a need for at least a minimum of engagement with Afghanistan today to prevent the population from falling off a cliff, basically.
A dire situation. Patrick Hamilton. Patrick, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Elaine.